So an absolute bombshell is dropped in which a juror has decided to break their silence. And guess what they're going to tell us? It wasn't the judge. It wasn't the jury. It wasn't even JD that really ended up deciding that. It was AH. Now, I've not watched this. I've actually just seen clips. So you and I, we're going to watch it together live. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So hey there, by the way. And yeah, let's just get into it. Let's get started.
ABC News exclusive with the juror in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial. Speaking out for the first time about the verdict, Trevor Arlt here with the story. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, George. You know, this trial had the whole world watching and debating everything.
The world, by the way, wasn't debating. I felt like they were pretty unanimous in what they had to say.
Question every claim, and this morning we have exclusive insight into what the jury was thinking. Now, we agreed not to reveal his identity or juror number, so you won't see his face or hear his voice, but he revealed a lot about how these multi-million-dollar decisions were made.
This morning, an ABC News exclusive. New details from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial from a member of the jury who says a lot of Amber's story didn't add up, and the majority of the jury felt she was more the aggressor.
So there's a key word, too, majority. Number one, that tells you about the mindset when they were making one decision, but it also tells you about the mindset on the counterclaim. I've always said I figured there was a holdout. So hence majority. They capitulated. They gave that person something. And the reason I feel like that is because they didn't even fill in the counterclaim amount. They had to be sent out and they had to come back.
The juror, one of 5 men on the 7-person jury, said Heard's emotional testimony was not realistic.
I want to move on with my life.
The crying, the facial expressions that she had, the staring at the jury, all of us were very uncomfortable.
What a descriptor, by the way. I mean, if you're trying to sell something to people that are making decisions whether or not you're guilty or you're innocent, it's going to cost you millions, and they're saying they're uncomfortable. Yeah, not the emotion you should be conveying.
She would answer one question and she would be crying, and 2 seconds later she would turn ice cold. Some of us use the expression crocodile tears.
Wow, that is a powerful statement, too. And it does emulate what people were saying in the public. You know, she's crying, she's doing everything except without tears. Again, crocodile tears. She'll go from ice cold, then she'll put in something that seems really fake. If you really want to go back and see just how bad this performance is, look at that with objections. Camille Vasquez, she'll say something. AH will just stop. She'll just stop her performance, see what the judge has to say, then she'll continue. The thing about a crocodile, too, at least their eyes might get a little bit of, liquid on top because they're right there in the water, unlike her.
I didn't think he knew what he was doing.
Terrible.
I don't know how.
Terrible.
I don't want to do this.
So bad.
I don't want to do this.
On Depp's side, a lot of the jury felt what he was saying at the end of the day was more believable.
So he sold it better. I mean, that comes into it as well. The people who make or break this, ultimately it was her, the way it came across. But also, let's see, they're going to have another piece of this.
He just seemed a little more real in terms of how he was responding to questions.
That's it. The evenness of tone and temperament, that ends up selling things. Again, look at the way that she responded versus the way that he was responding. You can tell also why one of them, they make big bucks in Hollywood, and the other, basically, like they said, they may be a small actor in a big movie or a big actor in movies you never ever heard of. Because I think that pretty much came across.
His emotional state was very stable throughout.
It could begin with, throwing a TV remote at my head. It could be throwing a glass of wine in my face.
The juror said the revelation Heard had not donated her $7 million divorce settlement to charity was a fiasco for her.
Wow, that's a big statement, too. I knew that would play. You had a lot of people saying that it ended up, it wouldn't matter. Oh, yeah, when people find out that she had been taking clout, I wonder if it was the clip, that show, that he was on. I wonder if that actually plays. Let's find out.
You still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety. I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
She goes on a talk show in the
There it
UK. The video shows her sitting there telling the host that she gave all that money away. And the terms she used in that video clip were, I gave it away. I donated it. It's gone.
See, I've said that forever. I mean, when you look at the terminology that she uses, most people are not going to see that as a pledge. I gave it away. You know, it's gone. I donated it. So it doesn't say that the money is parked in her bank account. It's saying that it's already gone, and she is trading that statement for clout.
But the fact is, she didn't give much of it away at all. He also disputed.
Yeah, I mean, when you get down to it, too, who was paying that? We know, a certain Rocket Man, not her.
The jury was influenced by social media, saying, we followed the evidence. Myself and at least 2 other jurors don't use Twitter or Facebook. Others who had it made a point not to talk about it.
Now, that's a big statement, too. And remember, it wasn't just her lawyer that said that. She ceded the ground. She went out and claimed it first. But you have AH herself that has been making that statement about the jury. So it wasn't just her. And yeah, the jury, they're going to end up speaking out about this. And you're not going to like what they have to say at the end of the day, you know, when you go out and when you make those claims.
He said, ultimately, what I think is truthful was that they were both abusive to each other. I don't think that makes either of them right or wrong. But to rise to the level of what she was claiming, there wasn't enough or any evidence.
There wasn't any evidence. You know, at first, there wasn't enough. Oh, wait. There wasn't any evidence that really supported what she was saying. So all of those claims that she was throwing out there, yeah, those claims, they don't work at all. It's interesting that he chose this mutual statement. Well, I think they were this way toward each other, while also saying she didn't have any evidence that it happened at all. Fascinating, isn't it?
That really supported what she was saying. He added that he believed Johnny did not hit Amber.
That is a major statement in that, too. You know, because this tells you, number one, what they thought behind the scenes. They didn't think that any of her claims at all were just or justified. They didn't think there was any physicality. And when you look at the way that they defined abuse, they didn't define it the way that you had the other side wanting. They didn't define it that way at all. Really, when you get down to it, the biggest indictment of everything that was said here is the fact that she could not sell this stuff to a jury. I mean, think about that. She's a professional actress. Her job is selling roles. This was the performance of a lifetime, like Camille Vasquez said, and she could not sell this to anyone. I mean, oh man, yeah, she's going to be spending a lot of time at home, and she has no one to blame but herself. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff, and as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help out the channel? Links in the description, but you being here, that helps out as well. Thank you again. Appreciate you. We'll be seeing you at this. Crazy stuff, huh?